Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely reframe the everyday, kind of quirky behaviors of that animal that is probably sleeping on your couch right now. We're going to dive into the absolutely fascinating hidden psychology of your cat. And honestly, I promise you, by the end of this, you will literally never look at them the exact same way again.
Okay, so let's jump right into this bizarre contradiction. Because biologically speaking, your adult cat has all the hardware of a wild apex predator. I mean, we're talking ambush reflexes, actual predator teeth, and this incredible night vision that's perfectly built for hunting in that pitch-black hour right before dawn. If you drop them in a field, their instincts are razor sharp. And yet, this highly tuned hunter insists on acting like a completely helpless infant around you. It chirps, it follows you into the bathroom, and it cries at a closed bedroom door like a baby separated from the only thing keeping it alive. Why?
Section 1. The Frozen Kitten Software. Domestication's strangest trick. To figure out why they do this, we really have to look at how domestication changed the domestic cat. You see, it didn't erase the wild animal. You can definitely still see that wild hunter every time they freeze at some tiny sound you can't even hear. Instead, domestication did something much stranger. It permanently froze a piece of the kitten in place. Scientists actually call this phenomenon neoteny, which is just a fancy way of saying the retention of juvenile traits into adulthood. In the wild, cats shed all these baby behaviors around 6 months old, right when their mother goes from being a provider to, well, a competitor. But your domestic cat, that software of infancy never uninstalls. They literally carry the kitten with them into old age. And this raises a massive question. If those baby behaviors are still running, who exactly are they running at? Well, the answer, of course, is you. Your cat has quietly assigned you the role it never outgrew.
Section 2. Seeking safety and shelter. You are the perimeter.
Let's look at how your cat completely relies on you for its fundamental security in a really unpredictable world. You see, you aren't just a food source. To them, you are the literal perimeter. Think about it. When a glass shatters in the kitchen, a startled, unbonded cat will immediately bolt under the bed or behind the fridge into a dark, small hiding place. But a bonded cat? Their panic reflex terminates right at your feet. In their mental map of the world, a two-legged giant, the largest thing in their environment, is categorized as shelter. Kittens do exactly this. When they're startled, they immediately converge on the mother. Your cat also waits for you at the door, right? Well, doing that actually requires tracking your absence and generating a mental prediction of your return, exactly like a kitten waiting for its mother to return to the nest. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating, especially when you think about why they sleep pressed right up against you. A sleeping cat is a defenseless cat. Their reaction time completely collapses, and their threat detection basically goes totally offline. Out in the wild, this is exactly when animals die. So when your cat decides to sleep against your leg, they haven't just randomly flopped down. They've essentially conducted a full home security audit, surveyed every high shelf, every enclosed box in the house, and concluded that you, a large, breathing, highly unpredictable mammal, are the absolute safest place available. They are straight up using you as an alarm system.
And this brings us right to mealtime. Have you ever noticed your cat leading you to a bowl that is visibly already full, but they stubbornly refuse to start eating until you're standing right there in the doorway? Look, they aren't confused, and they definitely aren't just trying to manipulate you. Cats sit in this really awkward spot in the food chain. They're predators, sure, but they are also prey. When their head is buried down in a bowl, they have totally surrendered their field of view. By asking you to be there, they are literally asking you to stand watch. It's a division of labor pulled straight from the nest. The kittens eat, while the mother scans the perimeter.
Section 3. Inventing a human dialect. How cats speak to their giants.
Okay, so we know they treat you as their shelter and their personal bodyguard, but how do they actually talk to you? It's super interesting because adult cat-to-cat communication is incredibly intense. It's hissing, it's yowling, it's screaming over territory or mates. Adult cats basically never meow at each other, but that friendly upward-inflected meow you hear every single day? In the wild, that specific vocal channel is reserved almost exclusively for mother-to-kitten communication. Domestic cats literally took this nursery language and quietly rerouted it right at us. Even that vertical tail greeting, when they walk towards you with a straight-up twitchy tail, that only occurs out in nature when kittens approach their mother or their most trusted companions.
The crucial point here is that their body language changes entirely the second they are around us. Take the classic slow blink. In cat language, an unbroken stare is a threat. It's how two cats size each other up and negotiate before a full-blown fight. So when your cat deliberately closes its eyes right in front of you, it is definitely not just sleepiness. It's a disarmament treaty. They are purposefully switching off their primary threat detection system in your presence just to tell you, hey, I don't think I'll need this right now.
And man, this brilliantly illustrates the classic exposed belly trap. Every single vital organ a cat owns is tucked right behind that abdominal wall, with absolutely no bones to protect it. In a fight, rolling on their back is actually a lethal defensive posture, meant to bring all 4 sets of claws to bear. But when they just flop sideways in a sunbeam and expose their belly to you, they are declaring a zero-threat environment. But, and this is the big catch, it is a statement of ultimate trust, not an invitation to touch. Typically, only their mother ever had the actual biological permission to touch them there to clean them. They're showing you the treasure, but they definitely didn't say you could hold it.
Section 4. Rituals of family care. Scent, bites, and the original act of care.
Moving on, let's explore the physical rituals of family care. These are the really profound ways your cat proves that it has completely biologically integrated you into its own family unit. When your cat sits precisely on the sweater you literally just took off, they aren't just trying to be annoying and get hair everywhere. They are actually blending your scent with theirs. In the wild, cat colonies maintain a shared group scent to identify each other. By basically marinating in your belongings, they are actively enrolling you into their colony. And what about when they gently bite your finger, but they don't draw blood? Well, kittens learn bite inhibition while playing in the litter. When they give you a soft bite, they have carefully measured you, classified you as a fragile family member, and actively adjusted their jaw pressure just to keep you intact.
Grooming is another one of those incredible behaviors. Cats are magnificent at cleaning themselves. They really do not need your help. But the very first sensation a kitten experiences at birth, before it can even see or hear anything, is its mother's tongue clearing its airway and keeping it alive. So when your cat decides to groom your hairline or lick your arm in the middle of the night, it is actually performing the very first life-saving act of care it ever learned. It's a remarkably deep ritual of alliance.
Which brings us to kneading, or, making biscuits. Kittens rhythmically push their paws against their mother's abdomen to trigger milk letdown. For an adult cat, this motor pattern is functionally totally obsolete. There's no milk and there's no mother. Yet it somehow survives in, say, an 11-year-old cat solely as a comfort loop. It fires off unconsciously under one very, very specific condition, when they feel absolutely perfectly and totally safe with you. They are literally running the very first program they ever learned.
Section 5. More than a pet. The definition of mother.
We've looked at all these incredible behaviors, right? From the calculated safety audits to the slow blinks and making biscuits, none of these signs are cheap tricks. None of them are performances calculated just to get an extra scoop of kibble. They are pure, raw pieces of kitten behavior preserved by 10,000 years of domestication, still running and still looking for their target. People always wonder if cats think we are just giant, kind of clumsy cats, but they aren't confused about what species we are. The reality is actually much more touching than that. Somewhere deep in their wiring, the definition of mother was just never restricted to a specific species. Mother was just a concept. It was whoever was warm, whoever was safe, and whoever stayed. And your cat looked around its enormous, unpredictable world, found you, and just filled in your name.
We love to use the word ownership when we talk about our animals. We say we own a cat the same exact way we might say we own a car or a television. But looking at the incredible science of neoteny and these deeply ingrained retained juvenile behaviors, we really have to rethink that entirely. A car doesn't run to your feet for shelter, and a television definitely doesn't try to blend its scent with yours to make a family. So the very next time your cat falls asleep against your leg or slow blinks at you from across the room, you have to ask yourself, are you really just their owner, or did they decide a long, long time ago that you are their mother? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep observing, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.